Iria, a question. That other circle mage, the Dreamweaver, she used to be an assassin before she joined Tahar, didn't she?
Iana? Yes.
So would you say she has changed? Has she become more human since the wars?
I don't know. She still has that thirst for violence, but she doesn't act upon it.
I see. Interesting.
Tell me, Wraith, how did you convince the Queen to grant you an audience?
I told them I was a dark elven prince.
And they didn't even bother to verify that?
I just had to shout and threaten long enough. If there's one good thing to be said about Nortandian bureaucracy, it's that they're subservient to authority.
Well played.
Iria? I've been wondering, do you ever feel a sense of estrangement? A feeling as though you don't belong anywhere?
Do you mind if we discuss this later?
Of course.
Tell me, Wraith. At that first audience with the Queen, you said that you saw Tahar's disease coming. Why?
As I said, because there's only so much a mind can take. Tahar was troubled, Iria. When your own father is a madman who tries to kill you, what do you expect? These kind of things, they leave a mark on you. Some people can beat it, some can't.
So you're saying Tahar was weak?
No, just human.
So, Wraith, back in the Purity Wars, you were quite indifferent to the fate of Nortander. What made you become an idealist all of a sudden?
I'm not an idealist. I'm only trying to survive. If the God of Light makes it into our world, your race doesn't matter.
Fair point.
You know, in a way, Keawu, your people have it all figured out.
What do you mean?
They know a truth that many refuse to see. People don't change. We try to make ourselves feel better about it. We aspire to noble deeds. But at our core, we are always the same.
I don't know about that. People can change, but the Aliani aren't going to force that change.
If you say so.
May I ask you something, Sir Wraith? If you're able to see souls, do you also see where they go when they die?
Oh, yes. I call it the Valley of the Great Bling Bling, a place full of well-endowed maidens with flowers in their hair and where the rivers flow with honey.
You're joking.
Of course I am. If a soul dies, it's gone. There's no afterlife.
Oh, I see. Tell me, Wraith, is it true that dark elves don't usually bury their dead?
There are departure rites, but the bodies are put to further use, yes.
To further use?
Necromancy. They are given to the intelligence's necromancers who turn them into weapons for the strength.
Ancestors. That's strange.
Keawu, your people believe these are the end times, do they not? I wonder why you aren't with them.
If I could help stop Sheogded from the comfort of my village, I would. But it doesn't work that way.
Still, if your Sheogded devoured the world tomorrow, you'd be here, not there with them. I know I couldn't abandon my family if I knew that.
Do you mind if we don't speak about this?
Do you know what I still don't understand, Ketras? Why do people follow you? You're a selfish pragmatist who'd sell his own mother to save his skin.
Must be the hair, then.
You're deflecting the question.
I'm just not in the mood for drama, sorry. Still got it, huh, brother?
What?
The frown. I remember you already had it back in the communes. Has life given you so little to smile about?
Oh, plenty. A dead family, a burned-down village, and exilement from the realm.
Wait. Your little boy and your wife are...
Let's just focus on the mission, okay?
You should get it back.
Get what back?
The Calibrock accent. I mean, you'll never sound as dashing as me, but it would add to your, character. You know, the dark and brooding type.
You're an idiot. You never told me why you chose Superior Goave, Ketras.
Chose him for what?
You robbed and murdered him before you deserted the strength.
Tiara's tits. Is that the speech's version of the story? I never gave a rat's arse about Goave, and I sure as fuck didn't kill him. I deserted because I wanted to live. Whatever Goave died of, it wasn't my axe.
So tell me, Rera, what plans do your rebels have for weeding out your enemies?
Our enemies? What do you mean?
The people. Arrakis rose to power because of the people who share his views. If you want your rebellion to succeed, you'll also need to deal with the populace, stamp out their ideology.
No, we're not going to turn on our own people. Controlling what people think isn't the answer. If the king leads, the people will follow.
Let me know how that goes. All right, Rera. Say this plan of yours works.
Here we go again.
How do you know getting rid of Arrakis and his supporters is the solution? Sometimes you have to dig deeper to root out the true problem.
Aye, sometimes. But why scrap the ship if all you need to do is correct your course? I'd rather try the option that causes less turmoil first.
Don't forget to pay up, Rera.
Aye, not going to let me forget it, are you? You said you lived alone in the woods before. How did you get so good?
I played against the squirrels and birds.
You're shitting me. You played cards with squirrels and birds?
No, I was joking.
By the way, Wraith, I still disagree. Earlier, you said that the common man will always be easy prey for Arrakis's or another demagogue's hate speech. It wouldn't be like that if everybody had the same access to education as the nobles of Windhelm do. They would see through his lies.
I agree. But as long as someone has an interest in keeping the sheep dumb and docile, access to knowledge will always be restricted, and there's always that someone.
Tell me, Wraith, if there's one thing you could change about the world, what would it be?
Less pointless philosophical discussions.
Deflecting the question?
What do you want me to say? Free cake for everyone? It's a purely theoretical question. Even if you could effect actual change, it would never affect the world as a whole. It just doesn't work that way.
You're a real ray of sunshine.
What? Do I have something on my face?
Oh, no, sorry. I was only wondering, what's the extent of your magic? Can you transform things? Say, turn a person into a chicken?
Would you like me to turn you into a chicken, Kyawu?
No! Wait, does that mean you can? I have to say, Lady Elathiel, I still can't believe you're 600 years old. I mean, you must have seen so much.
Who told you that I'm 600 years old?
Sir Katras, is age a sensitive issue for elves?
Never listen to Katras.
Oh, of course.
Kyawu, I'm curious about something. If the Alyani believe our vices will doom the world, why haven't they tried to spread their beliefs?
Well, my father always said it would be a futile effort. How do you prove to someone that their actions are damaging if they never see the damage?
But it's not an impossible concept. You don't need to set fire to a whole forest to know that a flame left unattended is dangerous.
Yes, but no one ever thinks it will be because of themselves. When someone is convinced they don't need wisdom, no amount of talking will help.
I see your point.
Iria, I don't mean to pry, but what's it like to stay away from your homeland, Finnonmere, for so long?
Finnonmere is where I was born, but it isn't my homeland. I have nothing but bad memories of the place.
Oh. Then what does make a place a person's homeland?
I don't know. The place where your loved ones are, I guess. Any place can be your homeland if you make it that. So, Kyawu, now that you've been out here a while, what do you think?
Do you know how to make bread?
What? Yes? Why?
Say you make bread every day. You memorize the ingredients, the motions, and then one day you see someone else making bread, only they're not using the same ingredients or doing the same motions, and yet their bread comes out fine. And then you wonder what other kinds of breads are out there.
Your point?
Oh, I was never good with metaphors.
I've been wondering, Katras, did you always want to be a mercenary leader?
Actually, I didn't. As a boy, I always wanted to be a servant of the speech, a diplomat. The idea of travelling to exotic places and shaking hands with powerful people had always enthralled me.
But you didn't?
I would have if it hadn't been for my low birth. I guess that's part of why I broke ties with the realm. They always blather about how in the communes everybody's equal, but that's a pile of horse shit. Some are more equal than others. So, Iria, back in the Purity Wars, did you really have no idea what you were in for when you worked for Lacane?
You worked for him too, didn't you?
Well, after he showed me a tree-trunk-thick stake and threatened to ram it all the way up my arse if I didn't, yes.
Well, in our case, the stake was figurative. Accept his request, or be hanged by the Royal Army.
Fair point. Iria, a question. Do you ever wish things had turned out differently in Finn and Mia? That this sweetheart of yours didn't betray you?
I try not to think about it too much. How do you know about that anyway?
You told me. That night in the Kraken.
Right. That night. Catress, there's something I've been wondering about. Who is Sir Obie's mother?
You think that's a topic for the road?
I'm sorry, I didn't...
We met a year before I became an exile. When she found out she was carrying, I turned heel and made for Empiria. I came back a year later, but by that time she'd already married some bigwig from the Speech, who wanted to arrest me the moment I showed up.
Oh, well, that's understandable, I guess.
By the way, Iria, I remember it now. That terrible dwarf joke the Empyrean sailor told me.
Let's hear it.
What do you call a dwarven fairy tale? A short story.
This conversation never happened.
Someone has to say it, Iria. That you're actually an old lady is somewhat weird.
I'm 42. Some elves would hardly consider me an adult.
Old enough to be my mother. When I'm your age, I'll probably be all grey and have a lady beard.
Dwarven women get ladybeards? Rara, about what you said the other night, do you really not think lasting peace is possible?
That's the thing. I do, but not by believing in a lasting peace. Look at Windholm. All it took was one dwarf to die before everything went to shit. Why? Because we were complacent.
So you're saying that we can't let our guard down? How is that peace?
It can be peaceful for the people. There will always have to be someone, leaders, your circle, who will have to remain vigilant. Tell me, Iria, does the circle work? Are people less afraid of mages now that there are representatives?
I guess, yeah. It didn't solve every problem, but before the circle, people thought mages were the source of all evil. Now they know we're just people. There are evil mages, there are good mages, and most are in between. Rara, can I ask you something? Why did you stay out at sea? Why didn't you go home?
Stones. Right into the deep stuff, huh? I guess after chasing down pirates, the idea of returning to an ordinary life wasn't that exciting. And I did go home, once I heard Malik needed my help.
And that was enough for you? Chasing pirates?
Aye, for the time being. Why do you ask?
Oh, just curious.
Tell me, Catress, out of all the countries you've travelled to, which one fascinated you the most?
Kalaya. Turquoise beaches, lots of sun, and don't get me started on the coconut maidens.
Coconut maidens?
Beautiful Kalayan women with an insatiable desire for travellers. Once a young maiden blossoms, an older one introduces her to the nymphic arts and...
Catress, please.
Oh, I was just kindling his imagination. So, Kaiawu, help me understand something. In your village, I imagine a bee prince must have many lovely flowers begging to be dusted by him. How come he's left them all unpollinated?
I'm not sure what you mean. There are no bees in the Howling Steppes.
No. I meant, as the chief farmer's son, there must be dozens of, pretty acres longing to be sowed. Why are they still untilled?
The Aliani don't farm. We hunt and we...
Oh, bollocks, never mind.
Say, Catress, you've been in many battles, haven't you? How do you handle the fear?
I don't. I'm afraid every single time.
Really?
Really. A painful death is always preceded by carelessness. If I had a coin for every sword-flourishing idiot I've seen cut down, I could buy myself a castle on Kalaya now. Hold on to your fear, boy. It keeps you alive. So, Kaiawu, there's something I've been wondering about. How do you feel about the undead?
The undead? I suppose I feel sad for them. They've been taken from their ancestors.
No, I mean, would you kill them? Your whole code, violence begets suffering, couldn't you say that killing them ends their suffering? Or the suffering of the people they torment?
You could, but that only takes care of the instance. What caused them to rise? Is there a better way to return them to their ancestors? If we only knock down our problems as they come up, we never get to the heart of things. Rara, when you first left Windholm, did you ever feel homesick?
Aye, I did. All I wanted to do was settle my debt and get back home. Every day I woke up and reminded myself that one day I'd be heading back towards home, not away from it. Even now, on the road, I sometimes get that feeling again. Not always, but it's there.
Ah, so it's not just me. Rera, I want you to know I'm happy for you.
Thanks.
Even with everything going on, you deserve to find love. Ambassador Jarrus seems like an honorable man.
What? I'm not. Stone, stop listening to Catrice.
Oh, okay.
You weren't supposed to say it yet, kid.
Rera, thank you for the brandy the other night. You were right. I fell asleep quickly.
Aye, you're welcome. Always does the trick.
I guess I'm a light sleeper. Back in my village, when the storms would pass through, I'd sit and watch all night from my tent. Sometimes if my mother woke, she would sit with me. We just sat there. Never had to say a word.
You must miss her.
I do.
Okay, Keawu, here's one. Would you rather fight 100 beetle-sized Catrices or one Catrice-sized beetle?
I'd take the 100 beetle-sized Catrices. I'd bottle up all the Catrices and re-release them where they couldn't do any harm. Maybe in a meadow somewhere.
Great. Now I'm imagining beetle Catrices frolicking in a meadow.
Shall I frolic for you, fair lady?
Ugh. Catrice, do you really regret it? Fighting for the purity?
Oh, I cry myself to sleep every night. You should see my bedsheets.
I'm sure lots of ladies want to see your bed sheets, but I'm not one of them. Care to answer the question?
Well, I never got people's obsession with regret. It's more about oneself than about anything else. What matters are your future actions.
You have a point.
What? My fair lady agrees with me? That's unexpected.
Regret is about respect.
If you say so, brother.
Now I remember.
Congratulations. What?
One of my mates from when I was serving on the honey-haired Rosalita had fought with the Deathmen. Duncan Varos.
Doesn't ring a bell. About that ship, though. Honey-haired Rosalita.
Aye, named after some sweetheart from another country.
The pirates must have been terrified. Fair lady, you were a woman of the waves, weren't you? Will you honour us with a sea shanty?
I don't sing.
That's not what Iria told me.
Hey, don't drag me into this.
I said I don't sing.
What a killjoy. Fair lady.
No.
Hear me out. Your parents, you said they died when you were young. Do you remember anything about them?
A real question, Catrice. From you.
Very funny.
The only thing I remember is my mother tucking my brother and me into bed. Can't even picture her face. It's more like a feeling of being warm. I wish I could remember more of them.
I see.
Catrice, is the name of the Black Company perchance inspired by the Iron Company?
Bollocks. You found out.
It was quite obvious.
I know. The Iron Company was the first merc group I served in. A rough bunch, but I wouldn't be who I am without them.
So you named your mercenary group after the Iron Company to express gratitude?
Not really, I'm just unoriginal. Boy, you're a ray of sunshine, aren't you? Good thing my company folk aren't that boring.
Oh, I do like to talk. Just not when I'm on a mission. If you want to, we can go grab a mug of ale once we're back in Greykeep.
Count me in. I take it you mercenary folk aren't the talkative kind.
What is there to talk about? We're on a mission.